people that have like synergies, and you build those relationships. You build those partnerships with your vendors, with your suppliers, with your volunteers, with your organizations, and also with your clients. Then we're going to talk about creating a budget that not only works for you, but makes sense. Sometimes as event planners, we have a budget, but you're paying everybody else more than you pay yourself. So we're going to talk about budgeting and how to include some additional aspects or supplements to your organization as add-on products that can increase your revenue. We're going to talk about getting to know your audience. It's very good to have a target base of individuals that you focus on. But also you have to remember that if you're working on behalf of a client, it may behoove you to look at their target audience and know who you're marketing to, who you're being representative of when you host their event or when you schedule their event, when you plan their event. And that's also a strategy to use in trying to go out and get the business. Okay? All right, so selling. Everybody knows how to sell. Everybody knows that, when they have a client and they get a check, that's a symbiotic relationship. You have a successful event, you have a client that's called you, you've had a referral from a source, a vendor source, but now how do you go out and get business if you don't have a great website or a website that's generating a tool to sell yourself, or you don't have a huge advertising budget where you can go and say, okay, I'm going to spend, $50,000 a year on marketing, on advertising, on promotional products. So we're going to talk about the overview of marketing. We're going to talk about some sort of do-it-yourself methods that you can utilize when you want to sell your organization to either venues, to clients, to individuals that you would like to work with. So we're going to talk about that. The basics of event promotions and marketing, you all have that down. You are professionals in your field, so just we're going to touch on that. How to write a marketing strategic plan, how to write a public relations plan, attracting sponsors. Oftentimes, if you can offset the cost of your event by talking with a sponsor or somebody that is willing to go in with you on a few things, then you can always have that added revenue to yourself. So for example, if you have an event company and you know that audio visual is one of the largest price points, then you can maybe partner with an audio visual company. Or if they're a new company, you can say, okay, why don't you sponsor this first event? So, so any money that you can spend on audio visual, you can kind of use it to funnel back into the business. We're going to talk about how to write press releases and media advisories, public relations tools that you can use to promote your organization and just have it readily available. If someone asks about your organization, you don't want to be without a media kit. You don't want to say, well, go to the website. That's condescending. You don't want to refer somebody to the website if you're standing in front of them. You're the best resource. So I shouldn't have to go to the website for you to tell me what you have, what you need to do about your business in about 3 sentences. So we're going to talk about how to generate a swift elevator pitch so that you can just talk to somebody. What do? I do A, B, C, D, and E. And then they're interested. You pique their interest. So you're going to talk a little bit about that today. In addition to a kit that is going to be able to attract a sponsor, attract a vendor, attract a client. In addition to how to use social media in public relations, or actually using social media as a public relations tool. All right. So of course everyone already knows the event planning process. So for me, the event planning process is twofold. I have a destination management company, and I have a public relations or communications company. So sometimes the business comes from the public relations company. Sometimes the business comes from the destination management company. So in terms of the brand image, in terms of how we're going to go about marketing to the client, it may mean a different process. So to say that is to say that if you have an inquiry from somebody online that just found you on the internet, then the process may be different. You may have to ask them a whole bunch of different questions or try to sell them on your services. Whereas if there's a personal referral from an event that they met you at, or from an event that they've actually attended that you produced, then it may be a different planning process with them because they've already seen, say for example, your florals. They've already seen your professional registration team. They've already interacted with you on that professional level, so the event process may change. All right, so overview of marketing. Marketing is basically selling. It's selling from a process of knowing a market, defining a target market, creating a plan, and then using different strategic imperatives to see how you can maximize on that plan, see how you can implement that plan with the least amount of detriment possible. That's basically what the overview of marketing is. Of course, you have all different types of categories of marketing. You have reputation marketing, you have brand marketing, you have proposal marketing. There's a different number of subsets. So today we're gonna touch on a little bit of every one of it because I don't know where you are in your business. You know, everybody, may have a top-notch 110% business where they've done all of this. But I think that there's always a learning curve because the market changes, the way that individual sales change. You have the inception of social media. People are selling all over the place now. They're buying print, they're buying TV, they're buying radio, they're using social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. So there's a different variety of the promotional mix, so to speak, that people are using to sell their organizations. So you want to understand what the mission is before you sell anything. And that's the most important thing to remember. Whenever you're selling anything, you have to understand that the mission for your organization really shouldn't change that much in terms of how you deliver the service, your protocol on the strategy of preparing to deliver the service, being in tune with the marketing piece of the client. So we're going to look at just a general overview of a marketing plan, okay? The goals, the SWOT analysis. The SWOT analysis, that acronym means the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to either your organization, the target audience, or the client, or the venue. Okay, then we talked about market orientation. Market orientation is just where you plan to sell your products, where you plan to sell your services. For example, if you're meeting with the client here, then you should look at what the synergy is between your client, their audience, and the venue, and between yourself, the partnership with the venue, and what they have to sell, and what they have to offer to your client. That would enable you to be able to, say, okay, well, this is a better venue because A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. In comparison to this venue that has A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So there could be all types of different things associated with that. It could be cost, it could be, proximity to your attendees, there's a variety of different things. But we're talking about some of those things in terms of how your strategy and your orientation kind of go hand in hand in addition to the sales promotion. And the sales promotion basically is how you're going to promote your business, how you're going to promote, if this is something that you're delivering to the client, but how you are going to be able to sell this or promote this venue or this piece of whatever of the planning process you have to the client. All right, so definitions of marketing. You have the American Marketing Association. You have other organizations that have kind of changed the definition of marketing, but basically this is the standard definition of marketing as of late. And basically it's an organizational function and a set of processes for creating and maintaining and delivering value to customers. And that's most important when you have different competing organizations, or you have, in a 5-mile radius, you have 25 or 30 different planning companies. You have to maximize and generate and maintain the value of your organization, or how the client can see the value in hiring you as opposed to someone else. Just because you have the prettiest florals, or just because you have, the best lighting company doesn't necessarily dictate whether or not a client will look at you as a valuable resource. So, for example, if your price point is 150% higher than the person that has a smaller staff or are located geographically a further distance, then they may see the value in going with a company that is a little bit more expensive. So you have to assess your value. So basically that's what marketing does. It enables you to communicate and maintain a system so that you can assess the value for managing your customer relationships, your client relationships, your vendor relationships in ways that will benefit you and your clients, okay? So, and then in terms of the whole structure of marketing, it's a set of principles. It's a set of institutions or processes for creating the value. And that's when we go into the implementation of public relations, okay? So that's one of the tools that you can use in marketing is public relations, all right? Okay, so the four P's in marketing are very simple. It's the product, what you're selling. It's the price, promotion, and placement. So in terms of products, some companies have products that they sell in addition to their services as a planning firm. So you may have a mix. You may have a commingled product mix of services and products. And so in terms of determining the value, you look at what your price is in comparison to other planners. You always want to know what other people charge. You want to look at the promotion of your services, where you're going to advertise, who your target audience is, who your market is, how much of the market share that you would like to garner, and also the placement. Where you're going to be geographically, where you want to be geographically, and in addition to where your competitors are geographically. So with that, this is where after you define that in a marketing plan or some sort of strategic overview or plan of action, that's when you look at the relationship building, who you're going to build your relationships with. And the strategic alliances, those are with individuals that can give you bulk pricing. Those are with individuals that can give you preferred pricing, that extra 10%, that extra 30%, or whatever you choose to negotiate. And then again, this is like the seeking and the maintaining ongoing relationships with your clients. So for example, if your promotional mix or your marketing mix dictates that you only do business in PG County because that's where the bulk of your revenue is. So if you look at your revenue stream and you see that 85% of your business comes from PG County, then it would behoove you to write your plan in a way that looks at that target demographic, looks at that target audience. So then you can set it forth in tiers, primary, secondary, tertiary, in terms of who you're going to contact, who you're going to connect with, how you're going to build those relationships, and in addition to where you're going to form your strategic partnerships and your cooperative agreements. Okay, so whatever market you're in, that's how you implement the price, promotion, placement, and your strategy of your products and services. All right, so we talked about the SWOT analysis, and it's very